update there, Natalie, that I don't know about that you want to share?
Yeah, we had some follow-up meetings with the US Soccer Foundation just to kind of clear up some questions that had come up from our meeting with their representative before and kind of our group discussion. I think speaking to her helped me understand their programming a lot better. It sounds like they have very distinct separate programs. So when they were talking about the mentor program before, that is a totally unique program that's different than their like after school or in school curriculum. And the difference with that is I think it's just basically a coach training that is appropriate for any sport, not just soccer. So that might be a free programming or training opportunity for like our Parks and Recs departments or softball, volleyball, anyone can do those programs separately. Um,
All right.
I don't think we have a school partner right now, but the person I spoke to does their school programming. So she was speaking more about what that looks like. Um, but it sounds like pretty all-inclusive training. They come to Kansas City, they meet with your teachers on like a staff education day. They provide the curriculum, the equipment, they do follow-up. So if you have any school partners that are interested, Lisa would be happy to talk to them.
I think there's something there, but and I'm finding that it's, you know, I'm working with. I got called by Jeff Hawkins, the varsity basketball coach at Pembroke, asking me if I would help him and another gentleman create a program for KCK that he wants to give back to the community that gave to him. He feels like he's at a place in his life where he can give back. He's identified a young man that's going to help him. They've got another partner that's doing some physical fitness stuff, and they want to do a program around basketball in KCK. And so I went to Shia Lockett and Tay Sharpley and the KCK Parks and Rec group there and asked them what it would take to put together a program. We've identified Wednesday afternoons from 1:30 to 4:30. We've got an age group targeted. They're going to promote the engagement. We're going to start July 15th and build to August 26th and possibly move into the year and do after school programs with this group. And it's a Kansas City, Kansas basketball initiative that's been created. And I have to get insurance and I had to go through legal and I had to, like, the hoops that I had to go through just to get approval to try to help them make this happen was, it's just, it's a thing. And it seems like once I learn how to do it, or once we learn how to do it, it shouldn't be as big a deal. Like if I were to take them, the US Soccer Federation's after school option, whatever that is, they would be interested in it because at their level, they're just trying to create more programs for their kids, and they don't have a lot of depth to what they provide. They have facilities, they have spaces. So if that's
Is
the
is Parks and Rec, you said you met with Shea, is her staff the ones that are administering the program?
no, the
No.
no the coaches are coming from the partnership that I formed with Jeff Hawkins.
Okay.
He's got the curriculum and the program and the training and all of he's working with all the athletes. I'm negotiating or kind of facilitating the relationship, the partnership, so that the space is available. So so there's I've created the graphics, the flyer. It got that approved today. We've been through legal 3 times to get the right MOU so that we agreed to it. And then at the end of the day, ultimately, the way they like to work with these kinds of things, if we're gonna end up doing this is kind of a pilot, but if we end up doing this into the school year, they create a partnership that they call oh, I forget what it's called, but it's like they look at it as a service provider and they enter into a contract and they get 25% of whatever it is that you charge as a freelance outside consultant, whatever. If you're charging $15 a kid per session and you end up making $100 to do the thing, then they get $25 of the 100 and you keep 75% of it. So
Okay.
those are kind of relationships. And like I said, I'm just learning how how it works with Unified Government Parks and Rec, KCK, but
It
I'm
sounds
sure
like since you've got the contracts and the legal figured out, it'll be easier to offer additional programmings later on now.
that's kind of what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But you said it much better than me.
That's okay. I think there is the opportunity to maybe work with the after school option. But I think you'd have to partner with a couple other interested partners. Like Alan Jones reached out about being interested in after school programming. As well as Toka has a meeting with them too, because you need 30 coaches for them to come do the in-person training. So if you were able to just go to their training with your coaches, I think that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Since I doubt you have that many.
That's kind of how I'm doing it with, we would have to recruit coaches for that, but I don't know if we have that kind of marketplace, but maybe,
Yeah. I've got a meeting I'm supposed to set up with Alan because he's going to talk about, he said there are communities and schools in KCK and KCMO he's interested in this programming for. So maybe you guys in that meet, we could coordinate like which groups it makes sense to have a training.
Okay.
And I think it would have to be the after school option with US Soccer Foundation because it's not in school, like PE teachers doing the curriculum for their school-based programming.
Right.
Okay. I'm meeting with he's the last one. I haven't met with him yet. Bruno does the after school programming and I'm meeting with him with Alec next week. So I'll have more information on, I think there's some more resources available with the after school with some more equipment and maybe even some like coach stipends to help with staffing and going through the training to help support them. So I'll let you know how that goes.
Okay. All right. We'll just update next time.
Thanks, Natalie, for doing all that additional data gathering. Like, I think it's important for us to get all that information and share it with the appropriate people and see where it makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, if it doesn't make sense. So,
yeah, I know it was nice of him to come present, but it was just like so much programming he presented. It was hard to distinguish what each requirement was or what setting you could do each one in. So now I think I'm going to reach out to some like selected individual partners that I think will fit the different program models better.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
So just one last thing. I know Nick Garcia was involved in some of that conversations. There may be a fit to, I guess that's just still in play, maybe.
Yeah. He's emailed me like still asking, but then he like his last minute had some things come up right before these meetings, so hasn't been able to join. But I think the like scope of work on the project has kind of changed. I think we've moved more to like organizations that are already doing the programming themselves is who we're focusing on rather than us as a sector offering programs or maybe partnering with the city to offer new programming.
Yeah.
And Natalie, give Nick till after the last game because he's serving as the match commissioner at all the games. So
he told me in his email he's really busy at the stadium. So
yeah. So after the quarterfinal, he'll be easier to get a hold of.
Yeah. That sounds right. I think we can park it till August, and you'll learn something from Bruno for sure, and Alec will probably have some insight into how he would like to maybe do something, and it'd be nice to unify and all do it together if we can. So I think we just look for those opportunities, and I'll learn some stuff too. I'm learning every day. So
I've just tried to save you from extra meetings, Bill, but once I like know more, then I'll share with you and get you connected
Okay.
with the right person.
I got you. I appreciate you. Okay. The fall event, I think, is coming together really nicely. It's intended that this adaptive sports summit meeting is intended as a sports sector meeting and in collaboration with the Parks and Rec, which is kind of taking the lead mostly, but to work with organizations to teach them how to create opportunities for inclusive programming and to be more adaptive to the current programs they have, so that we're going to have some really great things happen with some on-hand stuff, some real life touch it, feel it, experience it type of stuff, which is cool. And is it the national person from the Special Olympics, or is it the regional guy?
Regional.
Yeah. So the regional head of Special Olympics is going to be our keynote speaker, which is really cool. And a lot of good. Katie's done a great job of working on this and getting this defined and understood. So I think it's coming together really nicely.
Natalie has too. Natalie's been a big help. I just want to say that.
Natalie's greatness goes unspoken all the time. We need to tell her more often how awesome she is. So.
I'm comfortable with the word greatness.
I'm not sure what role the sports sector is actually playing in this whole thing, other than just moral support. But
I think when it gets like people in seats will be a big role too, because the audience is maybe sports providers that aren't targeting or allowing access for these athletes in their current programming.
Yeah, I'm ready to pump it out there when it's ready, for sure. I think that's the big thing, is how do we drive traffic to this thing and get the right people in the room. But I think it's really timely. I think it's going to be a really, anyone who's there is going to be glad they're there. So, because there's going to be a lot of substance. So anyway.
What is along those lines? When are you guys going to start pumping it out there, as Bill said?
Seems like I would say it feels like we're about 3 weeks away, maybe less. Getting some of the panel people to commit and decide that they're going to do it, but the agendas come together really nicely. The timing isn't quite ready, but I'm sure a save the date and let people know it's happening could happen relatively quickly.
Yeah, I think we shared a save the date at our last quarterly meeting, but yeah, I would think by August we could put out the registration link and stuff for it.
Yeah,
and maybe Monday, Natalie and Katie, we could talk about budget and stuff like that.
Okay.
In our Monday meetings.
Okay. Maybe Bill, when you said like our role too, I think the after the summit part we could play a role in shaping, because I think based on our discussions, we plan on forming a work group around adaptive sports access and like supporting programs and implementing these programs after the summit.
I love that. That sounds great. Yeah, that's good. All right. The flag football November to be decided. I think I'm definitely interested in being a part of this. I'm sure Pete is too. Have we had any discussions with Kaysen or Sheila or Boys and Girls Club? Or
We have not.
yeah, okay. Well, maybe we need to circle a date and just say this is when we're going to do something and see if we can get people to come. This is our own committee, right? Like we're going to, okay. This is an internal discussion group of how we get our toe dipped into the flag football stuff.
Or just support the region in starting these programs or implementing quality programs, safe programs, because they're growing quickly in the area.
Yeah, they are. Okay. So it's almost like a
It's kind of like I don't want to set a date until like the parties that might be participating confirm that they can do it.
Yeah, because I'm not sure what I mean, if they all came back and said, well, we can't do something until spring, then we probably have to adjust, right? Like if the way the calendar works for these people, I think we probably ought to start talking to people first. I know.
I know Kaysen. I can reach out to Kaysen, and obviously we all know Sheila, so why don't we start there? I don't know Bill.
I don't either. His name was mentioned in the last meeting, but I wasn't sure who he was.
Was it Bill Fallflick?
Oh, maybe that's it.
Yeah. So you're talking about the executive director of Acacia. So I found out when I looked it up, because I was trying to remember his name, the guy who was on the panel, I was on a panel with at the Aspen Institute deal we did, was the associate executive director who's in charge of flag football. He's since left, and I'm wondering if he just retired. So there's a guy named Jeremy Holiday, it looks like. I just pulled it up, who is Keisha's, he's in charge of flag football, tackle and flag football for the state of Kansas. I would think he'd be the person who we'd want involved. Sure. Not that the executive director isn't a good name, but when I was talking to the previous guy in this role, he was canvassing people at that point to get sort of the vote. But I mean, he was literally going around all the schools in the state. So I would think that person would be valuable to have. And I'd be happy to reach out to him when we go down that road. But I don't know him. I don't know if anybody else does, but he'd be relatively new. Because that was, what, a year ago?
I know Tony Temple's doing a lot around flag football too, with Boys and Girls Club. He's got a program called Join the League, and he's got Operation Breakthrough involved, and now Boys and Girls Club, and is doing games with kids, and it's something that's in its second year, so it's kind of proven that it works. So I'd want him to be involved too.
Okay.
Have they said when the high school league would be? Like, is it a fall? It's a fall sport.
Yeah,
it's fall. Yeah. My daughter's upset. She'd rather it be spring.
Why is that? Volleyball or cross
country? She runs cross country, so she'd love to have a spring sport but I think I don't know. When I was talking to the previous guy, there was a lot of politics in what season it would be, because it's different in other states.
Yeah.
So he was talking about softball coaches and all these different, I think they were all lobbying for the last several years about what season got it. So field space, I think I was also told, was the biggest thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I'll throw in the chat in case anybody's interested. I mean, you don't have to be interested, but I can send in a link. I've obviously been a little bit out of touch the last couple of months with our conference, but there's a playlist to a bunch of the videos from our Play Like a Champion conference. It's funny doing an event like this. There's a couple of these I need to watch because I wasn't in the room. Apparently, Dr. Carly McGregor, who I put on here, she's the sports psych for Notre Dame's athletic department. Apparently, everybody loved her. She was terrific, and I was not there. I was off prepping something else in the building, so I haven't seen it. But anyway, some good stuff there. And I was also going to throw out that I did watch the because that was the same week as the AI quarterly meeting, which I watched, and that was terrific. I thought that was really well done. So hopefully other people enjoyed that as well. But I enjoyed watching that presentation. So.
Great. I'm glad. That's great feedback. We are always
I
curious.
watched it too. I thought
Yeah.
it was awesome. Yeah.
Well, the presenter emailed me afterwards. She's like, group had great questions. I learned a little bit about them. We should talk more about whether there might be opportunities. And so I said, awesome. We'll talk in like a couple months. I'm really swamped right now, but yeah, I think that there are lots of opportunities to incorporate AI in some way that's helpful. And
maybe the next summit we do, sports sector summit, is around private equity, technology, AI, all of the things that are happening with the bill, the national bill, and maybe we build something around that.
yeah, it's
Certainly relevant.
certainly is relevant.
Yeah. Okay. I've been
Cool.
kind of dipping my head into the whole private equity side of things and what the government's trying to do and what's actually going to be able to happen. And it's all pretty fascinating. I think we could probably build a whole half day around that at least.
Yeah.
That the guy who sponsored, he sponsored, he was like one of the lead sponsors of the Project Play in Boston, is in Lawrence. The company called The Good Game. And
yeah, they were there, and Natalie, you probably remember seeing them, and I remember trying to figure out what the heck they are. Like they didn't do a good job of. I didn't think the conference didn't do a good job of explaining who one of their major sponsors was, because I just saw the name and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's like an app, right?
His name is Tariq Hawk.
Okay.
And he built a company and sold it, and now he's building another company. He's kind of a serial entrepreneur, a super smart guy out of Lawrence, very tied into KU athletics. And he's got this platform that is trying to, what he says is, what's the term he uses? Like not standardized, but when you make everything equalized, kind of, I forget what the term is. Anyway, the enrollment into any kind of camp, clinic, like to kind of have a universal platform.
Okay.
Anyway, you can go to his website and kind of see what he's trying to do, but he not only sponsored the State of Play conference, but there was also another conference called the Sandbox, or it's all about private equity in youth sports and buying the sand lot or something like that. And he was the lead sponsor for that conference too. And in both cases, they put him up on stage, and he was sharing what he was trying to do. But I've met with him a few times. He's a really nice person. He gave me $2,500 for March Gladness. So he's kind of, and then I haven't talked to him since. So I've been trying to get back in touch with him. But anyway, I think we could build a whole conference around that, a whole half day of education, and it would be interesting. And I think it'd be timely.
Yeah, I think that I'm just looking at his website, the Good Game website or whatever, and it's like part of that though is like his is like fast, seamless payments for NIL, which is not exactly our client, right? Like I'm not saying he's specific. I know what you're saying is a little more broad, but it is hard to know where the line, and maybe that's part of the conversation, is where's the line for like youth sports and the stuff we're trying to sort of talk about here, and the standard sort of youth sports versus, I don't know, kind of a lot of the private equity is in much higher level of economic impact kind of thing.
No, it's 100% the conversation. That's exactly what the conversation is where do we draw the line? Because it's a fine line between being involved in, trying to get squeeze as much money out of the family in youth sports, and how to help kids play youth sports. Like, it's like, that's what the government bill is all about. The Let Kids Play bill is all about how do we continue to let these companies just squeeze families and charge outrageous, just to get their kids into the game. It's crazy. So,
Bill, wasn't there a huge example in Texas with the ice hockey?
There's Black Hawk or something. I forget what they're called. But,
It's almost like a hostile takeover of ice hockey in Texas, and Dallas Stars were involved.
They wouldn't let the parents film. They wouldn't let the.
There was a Wall Street Journal that did a whole thing, and maybe it's the same company, but it was in Michigan. They did a whole thing on basically the takeover of all the public ice rinks in Michigan have been taken over by this firm. I think we're talking the same thing.
Yeah. Michigan could be another one, but they were doing that around the Dallas area in Texas, and the Dallas Stars were involved from the NHL. So, there was a whole big blow up about, is this right and what's going on, and the amount of money that was being moved around and wiping out some of these so-called mom and pop hockey associations, was going on. So big brouhaha in there about that.
It's happening.
There's a whole relevant piece there, and I've been weirdly, makes sense, but I was reading some different things recently about basically profiles of U.S. men's national team players and kind of their backgrounds and the whole academy versus club culture and everything that gets into. I think West McKinney's family was saying that they were grateful for the FC Dallas Academy because that gave him an opportunity to keep playing at one point, and much lower cost than some of the other options. And anyway, it's interesting it's in every sport, obviously, but perfectly relevant this summer too.
Yeah. All right. I think, Robin, is there any update on the mapping phase 3?
Just brief updates on those. We're meeting with Dave Renz from UMKC next week to talk about the phase 3 report. Should have more information following that meeting. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully in the August, maybe in 1 month, the August sports sector meeting, will have information that we can share with that. Same thing with for the GIS PA mapping, that is actually mostly done. We've created a map. I could even show it to you real quick. If I have it pulled up here. And I won't share it just yet because it's still in development, but here is the map of Kansas City, the Kansas City region. Each dot represents a youth physical activity program, and then there's this color scheme is kind of complicated and hard to evaluate, but let's zoom in right here. Let's just say down in downtown Kansas City, you can see each dot is a program that's being offered. This is, Natalie was pointing this out to me. There's Kemper Arena, so there's programs offered at Kemper. And then this is the program to child ratio plus the socioeconomic stress index. So again, it's hard to look at, but you can kind of see that there are variations in program to child ratio and some of these SES indicators. This information is interesting to look at visually. The next step of And as you can see, there are a variety of different layers that you can put on top of this. You know, here, for example, here is the poverty levels. So you can clearly see that they're, well, I don't know what to make of this right now. This is just a visual representation of the data. The next step is to, and we're going to meet with the agency that did this to talk more about this. The next part of the analysis would be to draw, like, for example, a radius around each program and identify the number of kids within the population level, the poverty level below 200%, and identify how many kids fall in those radiuses, how many don't, and do analysis that way. So, project in summary is moving forward nicely. We should have hopefully more concrete data hopefully in August. You know, these things always take a little longer than expected, but moving forward, really cool stuff.
That's brilliant, by the way. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? And it's really nice to see, you know, obviously we've been building this stuff for years now, for several years. So the first step was to count all the programs, next to map it all. So yeah, nice to see everything coming together. Well, more to come. Oh, and I'll just say a couple things because I think I shared with Natalie the next couple links on the agenda. I'll put them in the chat. I randomly saw this film festival and this documentary that will be playing at the film festival. The links were off and on over the past, working off and on the past couple weeks, but this morning they were working. There's this documentary called Chasing Goals. You may have heard about it, or at least heard of the team. It's the team comprised of teens from, I think, 17 different countries playing in Northeast Kansas City, and their season, essentially.
Yeah, it's the global FC story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about all I know about it. If anyone else knows more, feel free to share. It's apparently completed and apparently they showed it at FanFest a couple weeks ago, and now it'll be at this Full Tilt Film Festival, which is a film festival for all sports related documentaries. So in Kansas City. So,
there you go.
Cool stuff.
Cool stuff.
Okay, that's what I was going to talk about. Okay, so.
All right.
Another one on there is the city is collecting feedback from residents about sidewalks, bike trails, and bikeways as they're designing their plan for the upcoming years. So if you want to give feedback about your experience being a pedestrian and where you think we could make improvements, they have a survey open through the end of the month. And then one other thing, Margaret Mays at Midwest Adaptive Sports, she emailed me a flyer. They've got a power soccer clinic coming up in September, and they're looking for help from us in promoting it. It's anyone 5 and up that can independently use one of the power chairs, and they have access to them and can let the kids use them if they don't have one themselves to try it out. And they'll have different time slots throughout the day that you'll be assigned when you register.
That's cool.
Natalie, get that to me and I'll send it to our coaches network.
Right. I'll do that.
All right.
Cool.
Well, there's no soccer today to watch on TV, so I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of my day. I'll probably work.
You're going to have to work now.
I'm going to Costco, so.
Oh, Mike, I got a question while you're here. You'd emailed me about the FIFA equipment and that they might be getting rid of. Do you know what type of equipment it would be that they're looking to get rid of?
It's all.
I looked through the list.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
I was gonna say basically all their office, everything they want to leave behind and leave with organizations.
Mostly it's like desks and there's lockers. They have power surge cords, like power surge protectors. They have tables, chairs, fold-up tables.
Does it have to be a nonprofit to qualify? Do you know?
No, but if you give me a name, I'll be happy to at least pop it in there and get it up there
Okay.
for discussion.
I was thinking like maybe like the KCK School Foundation, because when I visited for those site visits, those teachers could really use a lot of office stuff.
Now send
and
it on
sports
over.
equipment.
Yeah, no, I'll be happy to get in there. I think the one I work for is we have the sustainability aspect, so it's in the department. That's how I found out about it. She goes, Mike, do you know anyone? I go, sure. So happy to put their names and just send them on over. And,
Okay.
yeah, and I do know some schools are in there. I know Haskell University put their name in as well. So anyone dealing with communities that have a little bit more difficult time, they want to be able to bring these resources to them.
Okay.
Very cool.
But sooner rather than later, because they're almost ready to close up shop. One more game.
Okay.
They did have 2 pickup dates, one for next week and then one for the 20th.
Do you have that in an email, Bill? So like I could share with Karen or Sharon or someone over there.
Yeah, I do. I have it from it came from reuse whatever. Let's see.
Oh, you're ahead of me on that one, Bill. That part I didn't get.
Well, this came from a nonprofit that does they do reclamation things. They go into, it's not, I don't know what it is. Hold on.
Okay.
Reuseful. Have you ever heard of Reuseful? Reuseful. Give stuff, get stuff. Okay. I'll send it to you.